You know, Vince, I never smoked a cigarette in my life. I have always taken care of my health, and I have no history of lung cancer in my family. I am convinced the disease that I am fighting today is a direct result of working in this toxic organization for most of my career. Those were the words shared with me by a colleague named Zinta. She was my mentor, and I was 24 years old, and she was fighting for her life. She was away from our office for about a year undergoing treatment for the lung cancer that was ravaging her body. And when I went to visit her, we started talking about our experience with that organization. And then she opened up and shared her experiences as a senior manager, the toxic culture that existed with all senior management in that organization, the petty politics, the infighting, all the games that they played. It created low trust, high stress, and huge dysfunction. And she believed all of that took a toll on her and her health. I walked away from that visit completely stunned by what I had heard. What does it really mean to be a leader today? Because when you look out in the media, you look at the stories, it can get pretty confusing. Sure, there are great leaders, but they're still the minority. And so we all have to pause and reflect at an organizational level and at a personal level what it really means to be a leader today. And I'm going to ask you to do that right now. And what we're finding is at a time when we need leadership to be at its strongest, it's not. In the book, I talk about some of the research. When you ask employees, what is the most stressful part of your job? Do you know that 75% say it's their manager? So if you happen to be here with your manager today, this could be a bit of an awkward moment. Gallup has done a large study of US leaders, over 12,000, and found 66% of them were disengaged in their jobs, and a big percentage did not care about their company. The role is demanding and really can weigh on people. And then you look at all the stories of corruption and scandal, and you're kind of going, what is going on there? Because at the end of the day, we really know what great leadership is. But there's something more fundamental that I've uncovered in my work that is the real challenge that we have to really talk about. And it really comes down to this idea of accountability. That quite simply, we have a lot of people in leadership roles who simply aren't leading. Think about it more like an online contract. You know, when you're downloading music, buying a product or service, at some point in the transaction, this window pops up. And you know the deal. You've got to scroll through, read the terms and conditions, and if you're good with that, you click agree. Now, I don't know about you, but when I'm multitasking, and I'm really busy during the day, I quickly scroll down, click agree, and move on. I have not read any words on that on those terms and conditions. Now, I know I'm bound to something. I'm not entirely sure what that is. I just have this nagging fear in the back of my mind that one day Apple or Amazon is going to come and take away my 3 kids. That would not be a good day in the Molinaro household. I'm here to tell you there is a leadership contract, and it comes with 4 terms and conditions. The first is that leadership is a decision, and you have to make it. What does that mean? We were doing a program a number of years ago, and we were talking about this, and one of the participants, Earl, who was an engineer by training, talked about his career, and he just said, I clicked agree. And he clicked agree all the way to a VP of engineering services of his company. So he got to the executive level. But in that session, he said, I never really paused and thought what I was taking on when I accepted those roles. In fact, if I'm really, really honest, I still think of myself as an engineer first, and leadership is my part-time job. Leadership is an obligation, you have to step up. What is this about? It essentially means that when you take on a leadership role, there is a lot that's expected of you. Leadership is hard work, and you have to get tough. What is this one about? Well, one of the laments we hear when clients are frustrated with leaders is there's a lot of things that we expect our leaders to do that they don't. Leadership is a community, and you have to connect. What is this about? This is about recognizing the new model of leadership. We live in a distributed world where leadership is distributed in roles across the organization. We've got matrix structures. We work on cross-functional projects and teams. We need to bring integrated perspectives and solutions to our customers. So it means we're working together in ways we've never done so before. The world is changing. We need leadership to be strong at every level. But companies are investing to a tune of $65 billion and not seeing the return. And I believe we got to start paying attention to this issue of leadership accountability. And you may not have known it before coming into this day, but you signed a contract when you took on a leadership role. But most of you kind of probably clicked agree, if you're like most leaders I've worked with. And that was okay years ago, not okay today. There is a leadership contract. You've got to be deliberate about it, and you've got to think about what you've signed up for. It comes with decision. And if you are the leader that defines him or herself as a leader, that's the tone you will set to others, and people will want to follow you. If you are clear on your obligation to leave things better every single day, better than you found them, you will inspire those around you. If you have the courage to tackle the hard work, everyone will rally around you because you'll make their lives simpler. You'll help them solve their problems. And if you're the leader that focuses on building relationships and establishing community and a strong leadership culture in your company, you will establish the ultimate differentiator for your success.